If you want to not age like a gnarly old tree, keep curious, keep space in the body so that the wind can flow in the caves.
And that tree is just a bit greener, and my thoughts are a little bit clearer, and my words have a bit more pristineness about them, and how much of a joy that is to realise ourselves.
Power of the intention becomes divine power.
Most thrivers are rule breakers, are big thinkers, refuse to be boxed, and are curious, quietly thriving.
The sovereignty really is the playfulness, is the childlike.
It's a gradual realization of all that's there.
Nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with spirituality, nothing to do with faith. There was something about their beingness.
The smallest refinement changes everything. All boats rise with the tide.
Why don't we just surrender and have fun with whatever and fully love everybody? I don't even have to like them, but I do need to love them.
We are honored to welcome you, Carolyn, to our Soul Speak podcast.
Thank you.
Dr. Carolyn Eddleston is a feral, wild shapeshifter who used to look like a traditional doctor. Now she's working far more intuitively and creatively using Taoist philosophy that underpins traditional Chinese medicine to activate humankind's innate internal medicine. And your topic today is sovereignty. We had a conversation and you had told me that you never had been interested in illness, but always what made people thrive.
Yeah. Which is a bit odd for a GP, isn't it? For a doctor.
It is.
So it didn't interest me. All that learning about what was going wrong with the body, I was still always looking at what was going right. So the people who were thriving, I was thinking, these are the ones we should be studying. What are they doing right?
Right.
Why are they thriving? And then it had nothing to do with their human stories either. So it didn't matter where they came from, what trauma they'd been through. Some people were just determined, some souls were determined to thrive, and that's what fascinates me. What are they doing? What were they doing? Nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with spirituality, nothing to do with faith. There was something about their beingness that just drew my attention, still draws my attention.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about their beingness, you think?
That's what I've been studying. That's what I've been watching for years and years.
Right.
And there's no book. I haven't written a book about it, so I'm obviously not there yet, haven't a clue. And yet there's something that I sense with beings that thrive. And it's they don't believe the limitations. So most thrivers are rule breakers, are big thinkers, are refuse to be boxed, and are curious. Even if they're quiet, some are really quiet. They're quietly thriving. They're not shouting in the world, but there's something they don't even know they're doing. Because some of them who are really quiet, I've got to speak. I've asked them to speak. And they're not doing it from a place of knowing. They're doing it from a place of not knowing. And I think I love that place. I think that's where the magic happens.
Definitely that mysterious place of the life force that we all have flowing through us. So you think that most of that's unconscious, that sovereignty?
No, I think sovereignty is something else. I think so. Of course, as soon as we say something else, that's not the truth. So as soon as I speak, in a way, it's like that Taoist saying, the Tao is nameless and formless. So as soon as we describe it, it's Anyway, we're here and speaking, so for the sake of speaking, my sense is that sovereignty, when I think about the Chinese medical perspective and many other wisdom teachings perspectives, is the heart of everything. The piece of us that knows, the piece of us that knows beyond any doubt and guides us, and yet we give it away so freely, particularly in medicine. So we've given our sovereignty away, particularly in all forms of medicine, to the healer, to the doctor, to the priest. as if they know better than us.
Right.
In that sort of way of separation that we do so beautifully in human beingness, where we just believe that how could we know in this small limited self? Well, we don't know in this small limited self, but that's not sovereignty. So sovereignty is the supreme ruler of the heart in Chinese medicine and many other traditions. And my sense is that the heart has this blueprint of knowing how to guide this peculiar human existence, and that the mind has another plan. And so my interest in thriving is my sense is that the people that thrive are sensing something and moving in a fluid way in their lives, where they're taken to different experiences, and they've got a flexibility about them and a childlike quality. Every one of them that I've met has this childlike spark in their eyes, that they're never quite done, concluded. And I remember this beautiful Taoist sage speaking. He was a sort of ethereal being that came floating in to the theatre with all his staff, and I thought, God, I like the look of this. You just come like I am on my throne now. I like it. You come floating in, and the words that he spoke were like reading the Tao Te Ching. It was beautiful. He was unrehearsed, and what came out was so beautiful. And he described aging. He said, if you want to not age like a gnarly old tree, keep curious, keep space in the body so that the wind can flow in the caves. And my sense is they've got some space. There's still some possibility for life, for what's happening, rather than this is what I believe, this is what I like, this is how I move my body, this is what I eat. It's like it can all be so much more than that. Hence, the sovereignty is, you know your way, I know my way. It's different, and yet we're the same. But the different bit is the human bit to celebrate, I feel. It's this the deliciousness of being human with the understanding of actually the limitless of who we are. And that's the medicine I'm enjoying, igniting in people's sovereignty. So it's nothing to do with me, but I can help ignite it in others, and that's a joy. And the beings that are waking up and thriving are here to remind us all who we are. So I'm interested in that. I want to play. I want to play with that piece of medicine, with myself, with life, with people. So the sovereignty, it feels strong to say this, we mustn't give it away anymore. And we reclaim it in a new way. I think we've got some access to old knowledge, and we've got new pieces of unformed, unknown. We've got the possibility of alchemy with these unknown places, old, new, future, past, multidimensional, and the privilege of the human vessel to be the alchemist for these new things is exciting. And I was saying on the way here, I don't think these beings have been interested in us at all until now. We're this dense planet, and enough of us now are remembering something, and they're interested, and they think it's funny. It's like, oh, should we just? They're kind of catching our attention now. Should we come in and kind of, the ones that disappeared, these incredible advanced civilizations that disappeared, that people are finding evidence for now. It's like they're going, oh, they're looking a bit more interesting now. Should we kind of, should we make ourselves available, have a little play with these beings? It feels light and playful. Sovereignty, not heavy. I'm done with heavy. We've done a lot of heavy in this human experience, a lot of suffering, and yeah.
Beautiful. I think that's a perfect segue into the group, the lightness of being. And so I'm going to segue into our discussion and chime in. I don't know if this will be able to be cut in, but because I'm kind of going to say something different.
Yeah.
So I really love how you are incorporating lightness and sovereignty. And I just want to bring this to the group to allow people to maybe speak to that a little bit, or you speak to us a little bit.
the word ceremony and ritual comes up actually around heaviness for me sometimes.
Okay.
So I like the idea of a lighter way to commit to sovereignty rather than a heavy. I like the spontaneity sense of we find our way, and then connect and collaborate, and the beauty of beings coming together in their sovereignty is a light and fun way to be.
Yeah, playful. Right?
Yeah.
Playful.
Yeah.
We love playful. We love playful. I think, for me, very interesting, because so many things that you said there, I'm going to probably say in a different way, but they're the same things. And so, absolutely, the sovereignty of each being is unique. I would frame it as the soul extension, so that's referring to the personality of the being rather than the soul of the being, which is a group, constellation, collection of 12. In my cosmology, 12 soul extensions is the soul. And for me, what you're saying is absolutely true, that it's, in my experience, many beings find the sovereignty, stepping into their sovereignty, accepting their sovereignty, realizing their sovereignty, because it's always been there, is fraught with trauma and confusion and fear and a lot of the messages that have been shared in the last 2,000-3,000 years, more than that. So sovereignty is unique to each one of us, and it's fun, and it's light, and it's playful, and it's got a lot of baggage for lots of people. I think it's absolutely hilarious today because you're here sitting in your throne, and in my work, one of the very first things that I work with people when I show them is to find their throne of divinity, sovereignty, and power,
Right.
which is within their higher
Yes.
heart. It's not within the lower heart, but it's within the higher heart. And once you found that higher heart, that chamber, and once you've taken your seat on your throne, which has always been there, it's certainly my observation that one progressively embraces sovereignty. It is not that like the light bulb goes on and I've got it. It's a gradual realization of all that's there, what that playful thriving is. And just one more thing, and then give someone else a chance to chat. The thrivers, for me, feel like soul extensions, personalities that have already realized their own sovereignty. They're just in a different position than a lot of other people are, for various reasons. Depending, for me, I would say that it's depending on what their plan is, what their blueprint is for this life. More than anything else, it's the blueprint. They've already arrived realizing, oh yes, I'm sovereign. Okay, that's on my plan is ticked off. And so it's wonderful that they're here because they're fantastic models for all of us to realize the healing that any of these bodies need is within our control. It's down to us individually to do that. So I think it's really exciting to hear about that there are thrivers out there. I haven't seen too many, but I've seen a few, but to know that there's a lot more.
And I think it can be faster than it has been. So I think that the arrival into sovereignty is fast. We've got access to something faster. That's the piece I'm interested in. It's we can do it much faster than we were.
I agree. It's not about us doing it, is it?
No, I mean we have available to us the knowing and the upgrade. I keep using this word.
Yeah.
The recoding, the cellular recoding, whatever's going on in the human thing. I think it's faster That's fun too.
It is fun. I agree. It is faster. The more you clear things out of the way,
Right.
and different templates. So I'm on a different template than Greg's on a different template. You know, different templates have different things that block them, and that's kind of what some of the acupuncturists and people who do cranial sacral kind of touching on. For me, that feels like they're working with the template. But there's also the subconscious mind to deal with it.
Well, there is, and I also think it's. So I'm playing as a whatever I am with the idea of, I've realised that the reason I have not been interested in illness is I never see a person as anything but complete. So they will keep trying to bring me back to the bit that's, what about my sore elbow, my cancer? It's like, that's not you in sovereignty. So to really have an experience of, I see whole, they feel something of remembering a wholeness of source, whatever we call it. And in that instant, stuff just drops away quite quickly.
Absolutely. It absolutely does. I mean, I think we're working in same way, guided by the divine, to hold the image of them as all that they are, and reflecting, because it's all holographic to my way of my current truth, the holographic image of all that is eventually radiating it, is how I would say it, is what they see. They begin to see it. So I think it's a similar thing. The power distortions that you spoke of earlier, giving it away to doctors, priests, healers, and so on. That the power distortion is huge, and is promulgated, perpetuated, exacerbated by all sorts of things. So for me, that's one of the biggest realizations is power. We all have it. We were talking about it earlier, actually, weren't we? Funnily enough, it's something that there seems to be massive fear.
Well, it's the old story of power. Really aligned sovereign beings are powerful and really bright, and I think it's the fear of the light, not the dark. Of the contraction of the ones who really need to hold on to how it's always been, how we do things, whether it's politically, religiously, medically. It's terrifying to not know. And we're saying we don't know.
We're saying embrace the not knowingness.
And how liberating and playful is that?
Very.
So it's like, I don't even have any attachment to anybody else coming along to play, but if you want to, come and play, because this is fun. This is more fun, and something is happening by collectively the waking up of sovereignty. I can feel how that is, and I can feel instantly when I forget, instantly, and it's devastating to feel that.
Sure.
You definitely know when you're feeling that.
It's devastating for every
It is.
cell of my being.
It is.
And that's how many people are experiencing this life. So come and play.
Amen to that.
I would just like to comment on the simplicity of being sovereign, because we all think, what's a sovereign? A sovereign's a king or a queen, and they have to have, I guess I'm relating to the English royal family, stiff upper lip and all of that kind of thing. But the sovereignty really is the playfulness, is the childlike. And if we go to the inner child of our subconscious mind, if I relate the inner child as the subconscious mind and the adult, as it were, as the conscious mind, we then can see the connection, and then the controller is actually the subconscious mind that actually perpetuates what the conscious mind does unconsciously. So, and that's a child.
And children are magical beings
Absolutely.
that feel
Unfiltered,
infinitely
innocence,
resourced
absolutely.
when they're allowed to be children. Yeah.
I remember our first meeting, and I remember our first conversation walking around Bradgate Park with yourself and David, and feeling like I did when I was 6 or 7, where you found someone in the playground and you hold their hand and you run around telling each other this world that you know to be true, right, which doesn't seem true to anyone else, but it's absolutely true, and going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm having this conversation. And I literally felt my whole system just going, yes, 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 and then we got lost, yes, yes, yes. And then that was one level, and I'm sure there are loads of things happened. And then when I came to have, I don't know what we call it, but a session, I remember driving in the car park, and I could feel my body, something happening in my body, going, I haven't even got there yet. And then I came into the practice, and was like, oh, I'm home. Like, we hadn't even started. And so I've been a beneficiary of your incredible work, alchemy, whatever it is. And I say to people, it's very hard to describe because it appears like there's not much going on. I'm just sitting there on my throne in your beautiful practice. And yet I can feel so much going on. And whatever's going on absolutely feels like a co-creation. It's like something's recognizing something else, and everything that's recognizing is working together, and I feel like I'm part of it, and at the same time I'm watching it and getting glimpses of what's going on, but just glimpses, and then just allowing it to be. So I'd love you to, this is probably quite a tricky question, but just to say a little bit about what is going on in relation to me and other people that you're working with, because it feels like there's themes that are consistent with everybody you work with and the way you work with them.
Could I answer something? I had a session with Carolyn, and Carolyn just reminded me. I was going to say she taught me, but we all have the knowledge inside of us. She just reminded me of just being able to let go, and in that letting go, the healing and everything else managed to happen. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I that's helped me sort of frame it, because it is, the words don't really explain it, and yet there's been a definite journey of the way I've been doing things. So I have, first of all, I have been on a conscious journey of some kind for the whole of my life. I haven't been asleep, but it hasn't looked like this. So I have been, from a very young age, observing something, thinking, why am I here? What am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, what's going on? It's not, I haven't believed anything I've been told, genuinely. I haven't believed any medical stuff I've been told. I don't believe many books I read. So I've been slowly, bravely coming into my sovereignty. And so the practice used to look like medicine, and yet I was doing something else. So as a GP, what I was doing was quickly connecting deeply with people. I had 10 minutes. So my superpower became in 1 second, they're walking through the room or in the car park, I'm already sensing something. Then I see them, then I'm hearing, and I'm smelling, and I'm watching, and it's like this. So in 10 minutes something was happening. So I've been honing things. Then acupuncture, didn't like needles. I said to my teacher, I don't want to use needles. She said, it's acupuncture, Carolyn, you have to use needles. Now something else is happening where I'm enjoying this magician, this sort of witchy bit, and trusting. My hands want to go on people more. Well, interestingly, I didn't believe I had anything going on with my hands. It was Daven, who's a craniosacral therapist. I think I put my hands on her at some point, and she went, "Oh my God, you need to be using your hands." I was like, "Okay, now my hands have to go on people, and the needles are just a conduit." And then it's absolutely not me. So the letting go for me is being, why don't we just surrender and have fun with whatever? If I can get cleaner internally, keep clearing out, keep doing what I'm doing, and then just be and have fun and fully love everybody. Fully love them. I don't even have to like them, but I do need to love them. It's like, that's what I do. I genuinely love everybody. I don't have a hierarchy. And what a joy to be, loving the being in front of me, knowing that we are the same being. That's it. It's like there isn't a separation in that place, and I'm trying to be that more in everything. So it's an evolving, ever-changing thing. I don't think any of us are going to look or feel or be doing the same thing even in a week's time. It's fast and curious and bizarre. So it's very difficult for me to write a website now. I don't know how to describe what's happening, but it's a lot more fun than writing prescriptions. That I do know.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're actually modeling health for them by the way you're being. You're keeping your vessel clean and clear, allowing the life force to flow through you, and by radiating that with your client, then their bodies are remembering it.
Yeah, it's a remembering, definitely, like an ignition. And also I've been asking for a long time very specific things. Usually at night is when the time happens, but show me the human upgrade that's needed for us to thrive in this experience. What else have I been asking? They're very, very specific questions. So I'm going through something and then sharing it. But why wouldn't I? It's fun and beautiful.
Right.
I think there's immense possibilities that we're only just tapping into.
Oh yeah.
And why wouldn't we go that way rather than the way that we see that is falling apart? That's it. It's as simple as that for me. I wonder what's possible genuinely every single second of every day. Yeah.
It's so exciting, like all that's being done with vibrational medicine
and be open to the new beings. I feel like there's new information coming in.
Yeah.
Let's be open to that and not know.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Deborah Katz, was trained originally as an acupuncturist, and she, like you, questioned the need to use the needles, and then she developed a practice of using tuning forks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now she's realized you don't even need to use that.
No.
She works with intention.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this feels to me
It's the same thing.
the soul at the soul level, the soul realized being level, is the power of intention. Once one is in one's sovereignty, one has accepted one's power, one loves oneself unconditionally. The power of the intention becomes divine power.
Right.
And I think you could do everything. I could do everything that I do in 45 minutes in about a millisecond.
Yes.
But people wouldn't be too happy handing over the money
Well, no,
if they didn't lie on a bed.
But do you not feel also that the healing, it's the same with what I do, the healing happens instantly, energetically,
Yeah.
it happens instantly. It's the integration
That's right.
and the reprogramming of the subconscious mind that takes 3D time
Yes.
at the moment.
Yes.
But that itself is a limitation.
That's changing, and it's beautiful to receive human touch. We must never forget the deliciousness of being human, and that's the other piece I'm realizing. It is beautiful.
Well, I wouldn't judge it
No,
as one thing or another. It is.
there's a sensory pleasure of this at the moment of this human realm that I think it needs to be very, very refined. It can be misinterpreted and used in all sorts of...
It does serve. It serves.
Yeah.
It serves at wherever one is.
Well, I say that because of a conversation that I heard about Western medicine going to AI, to technical... So there is a big group of medicine that is going to be all AI, and you'll have sensory rooms, you won't go outside, and you'll eat capsules instead of food. So the human piece for me is, it feels very strongly that we don't forget the palpable human connectedness of community, of personally. That's important. So I could do things virtually, I could do things without seeing anybody, but for me, my personal sovereignty, there is a human palpable piece that I love, that I celebrate in this bit, for me. And I think I am realizing that I have not really understood or being committed to being very human. I understand all the other pieces, but I really am committed to this piece because I think there's so much possible and it can be so much more fun.
How I would name that is nature and what's natural. I mean, we were talking about how we were making the broccoli soup and how lovely it is to taste and smell the garlic in your hands and like looking at the tree. I think you said something earlier on about we've got this incredible vehicle to have this sensory experience. And for me, the element of it that I feel, I mean, we're here in the middle of a field, is what's natural and and how many clues there are in nature for what is natural to us.
Yeah, because in the separate ways that we've come to exist, if you look in the natural world, everything is in communication and network, and nothing is separate. So to even feel that there is a separateness, we can't be in our sovereignty and feel that. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So the touch is is just an extension for me of, like, the rhizomes, the root system. It's just invisibly we're all completely threaded and golden threaded together. And is that really?
Depending on one's level of, development of one's subtle senses.
Yeah.
One senses, sees, feels, hears, knows. I mean, I can hear the tree down there from here.
Yes.
Don't have to,
yes.
Even though and it's not to say that one is more or less valuable than another. It's not about that.
No.
At all.
No.
So I totally understand what you're saying. It totally resonates. For me, my curiosity is about can I feel the tree on the other side of the world?
So that's
right.
Yes. So we don't need to do any of it because it's all already happening.
It's all already there. Exactly.
So absolutely, and the playfulness is, this isn't what it looks like. We all know that. So that's part of the playfulness with me.
Sure.
It doesn't matter what I do. What I do is not actually what I'm doing. It's not. It'll look like something for all of us, but there's something else, and that's the bit I'm excited with. It's the something else.
Yeah,
that's
we feel the excitement.
Yeah,
I feel the excitement.
Yeah.
We're all feeling the excitement.
Wow, yeah.
There's just so much possibility.
Art of possibility.
Art of possibility. Yeah.
Well, and Dilraj, when I've been in this conversation recently around this. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? This just the smallest refinement changes everything. All boats rise with the tide.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt working with you. I feel working with all of you. And that distinction between, we've been talking about this, we're not holding the space. And in the illusion of thinking I am holding the space, physical energy is expended and depleted and therefore needs restoration. When I realise I'm not doing anything because I already am that which I am, having whatever experience I'm having, there's no depletion of energy.
It's a relief.
It's a relief. And what I've realised through...
You said that this morning to me.
Yeah, the relief.
When we were in the kitchen, you said, it's such a relief.
Yeah.
Not to think one's holding on to anything, but one's just allowing flow.
Well, this conversation's a relief to me. It's like there's no... it's the lack of container that's so lovely. It's a safe space, but we're all flowing, and there's this lovely freedom of it. That's lovely, liberating.
That's maybe the lightness we're talking about. I mean, lightness can be taken in so many ways. You talked about letting go. We're talking about being with unknowing, non-knowing, and maybe. Well, I don't know. Bring time, but maybe at the beginning of this, as an awareness collectively, to be, because what I'm learning is to be, which is hilarious, because how can you learn to be? Because I already am.
Remembering,
but that's where the sovereignty comes in.
Yeah.
I feel I leave the spaces, the places with you. There's a load of stuff I'm aware of, as in, I can't find any pain or discomfort or inflammation, all these sorts of things. I'm aware of those things, but I'm also feeling something else. I'm feeling like I'm me. And that tree is just a bit greener, and my thoughts are a little bit clearer, and my words have a bit more pristineness about them, and how much of a joy that is to realise ourselves.
So which eye are you talking about?
One.
There you go.
Somebody described it to me like, in that sovereignty or openness or whatever all that is, it's like the whiskers go out and we get access to
The whiskers.
like you can feel the tree and this, it's like a whoosh of something. We have access to things that aren't seemingly possible or talked about, or
That's why I love animals so much. And you said you use whiskers.
Because you like whiskers?
Because they, you know, like when my mother's dog Oscar can sense who's outside like a block away and start wagging his tail because he knows the person. That's a possibility of what we can, as humans, develop. They're like our little teachers, I think. Like what they, you know, if our senses get more and more activated, I'm just excited about that possibility of our evolution. You know.
Well, we have sensors and receivers, transmitters all over, all over.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you mentioned about the heart, and yet the other day in my morning discussion with my council, they were saying, oh, for goodness sake, you know, there's more than, you know, there's loads of hearts, okay, just get over it, but there's only one. And so many things that feel like hearts, but there's only the one heart.
Yeah.
And our sensors and our receivers, for many people, I mean, we are all aware of what our sensors and receivers are picking up, but most people go through life at the drop of a hat. They turn everything off because it's traumatic, or they're overwhelmed, or they get nervous system overwhelmed, so that everything just gets shut down. And then so they wonder why they're feeling, you know, they're feeling nothing. And yet, again, one of the first things we've done together is to automate, because I'm the queen of automation, automate our sensors and receivers so that in every divine now moment they are aligned with divine will. They're exactly how they need to be. There's so many of them. You know, we've played around with a few of them. The point is, one can't. It's very, very challenging to develop the sensing, seeing, feeling, knowing higher order, as my guides call it, the higher order sensing, without a knowledge of one's own receivers, sensors, transmitters, and what's going on with them.
And I think that's just what it's just come to me, that one of the ways of I think inviting people to have an experience of that is when in illness, in anything that we're noticing of suffering, we are in contraction and in that, you know, fight flight, and we don't have access, I believe, in that place to those. We won't notice. So the space is energetically very consciously prepared. That building that you arrived in was a new build that didn't breathe when I first met it, and I was concerned about moving the clinic to this place 2 years ago. And then the process of connecting the trees, connecting the spirit of the old clinic, nothing to do with the marketing, and then it was the building started to breathe, and once that happened, it was like, we're okay, we're going to be fine. So there's something about the experiencing of people who are very in their heads or in their illness. They start to notice, and then you reflect back, what's different about when you lie here and when. So this sort of slowing down, like what we're all doing, you know, the slowing down, the noticing.
It's all connected. I mean, I a long time ago put a grid, asked for the guides to put a 5-layer grid around this property. But even this morning, when we were clearing the property, you know, checking in, the grids needed upgrading, right? And so I've only recently, probably 2 or 3 months ago, been told that yes, you need to put an automatic clearing to infinity filter in the grids, which I did retrospectively. They said you need to put in the grids an automatic upgrading to infinity in every divine now moment in the grids.
Right.
So that's done retrospectively
Right.
now. So you're absolutely.
So you've been asking the same. It's the same upgrade thing.
Everything is constantly changing.
Yeah.
And the change thing. Once you're aware of the change thing, you realize that actually it's only like it's changed since we've been sitting here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just changed in now. So that constant upgrading is to be welcomed, like you say. Welcome it. Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And then my response is, let's automate it.
So say a bit more about automate. That.
Well, it's simply asking for in my cosmology, it's usually councils that look after the various structures of different dimensions, to ask them to upgrade whatever requires upgrading.
Oh, as is needed.
And
Got it.
Yeah.
As is aligned with divine will in every divine now moment.
Yeah, got it.
Forever.
I like that.
So once we've automated it, that's it.
Right.
It's one less thing I need to do next time I'm
Great.
back.
I really like that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Been a pleasure, absolute pleasure.
It really has.
Really has.
Yeah, thank you. I've loved
You'll
it.
have to come back again.
I'm back all the time.
I know.
You never left.
And leave us with a few words of what's most present for you right now.
Warmth. Possibilities. Not knowing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is our Souls Speak. We're in constellation in divine space. We convene with our souls to listen, share, and explore. Our Souls Speak, a podcast where together with our guests, we embody the soulful principles of oneness and sourceness. To receive more information about our guests and future events, please visit our website at sourceness.one. We are one.